Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Monday Bump and Run. I'm your host, Sid Rosenberg, for OpenSports.com. Week 1 just about in the books, and here to help me recap the action as part of our exciting new partnership with the National Football Post is Matt Bowen, former NFL safety and now a featured writer at NFPost.com. Matt, how are you, pal?
I'm doing great. Let's get going.
All right, man, good to talk to you. I know you're in Chicago. I know you spent your career playing in places like Washington, but last night, the Bears in Green Bay for the Packers. Jay Cutler, brutal 4 interceptions. Brian Urlacher done for the year with season-ending wrist surgery today. Really a rough go for the Chicago Bears last night.
Yeah, it was. It's a rough go for the city. I was out in the city this morning. It was like someone died. Cutler didn't play well. He forced some balls. I thought the Bears were good on defense, to be honest. But now that Urlacher's out, and they didn't run the ball last night, with Pittsburgh coming into town, people are worried.
I would ask you this, looking at Cutler's performance last night, it looked to me like his wide receiving core, I don't care how good the quarterback is, when I know Devin Hester made some plays, but when Earl Bennett is your number one, I'm not sure if it's all Jay Cutler's fault.
No, sometimes as a quarterback, you got to have receivers that make some plays for you. A guy like Brett Favre who takes some chances, guys go up and get the football. Jay's going to throw it up there. Some of those guys got to go get the football, make plays for him, and let this offense move down the field.
All right, Matt, speaking of debacles, it looks like Jake Delhomme is having big problems in Carolina. Can't figure out which guys are on his team or the other team. His last 2 games, going back to the playoff game last year against Arizona, have been brutal. Are we maybe seeing the end of the Jake Delhomme era in Carolina?
Well, it might have to be. I mean, that team's too talented to have poor play at the quarterback position. He looked slow in his reads yesterday. His progressions from his number one receiver to his check down were hesitant. He was slow-footed in the pocket, and he made terrible decisions. You can't do that and win at this level playing quarterback like that.
No, they were terrible, and at home against the Eagles, they got run out of town yesterday. Now, speaking about quarterbacks in other cities, again, you played in Washington for many years. Second-year coach Jim Zorn, quarterback Jason Campbell. Looks to me like they're pretty much done trusting this guy. They lose to the Giants in Week 1. Where is Washington with Jim Zorn and Jason Campbell?
Well, that's just their offense, Sid. I mean, who are they going to throw the football to? Outside of Santana Moss, tell me a playmaker on that team.
Well,
a guy
Cooley's pretty good. What's Cooley?
Right, I get Cooley, but I'm talking about outside the numbers where you pick up big chunks of yardage. They don't have that. And the offensive line is below average. And if you're going to count an offensive line that can't move the football, how is Clinton Portis going to get involved in this ballgame? The Giants are good defense, but Philly and Dallas aren't too shabby either. It's going to be a long year for that offense.
I agree, Matt. Now, in New York, Matt Sanchez takes over. It looks a lot like the Baltimore Ravens have gone to New York. Rex Ryan takes his defense to New York. Some of his players, guys like Bart Scott and Jim Leonard. And Mark Sanchez looked great. He was 12 of 15 on third down on Sunday against Houston. Looks like the Jets, it's only one game, but it looks like they may have found themselves a big-time quarterback.
They did, and I was impressed. I was impressed by his reads and his ability to complete passes on third down. But what was more, shocking to me is the Jets, how they pushed Houston around the field. I mean, Houston looked soft. They were weak up the middle. They blew coverages. That Houston team, they looked terrible to me. And you got to give Sanchez credit. He came out in the first game as a rookie and made plays.
He made some big plays. Now, for the Arizona Cardinals, they get all the way to the Super Bowl last year, that high-powered offense with Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald, and Anquan Bolden. Losers to San Francisco yesterday. Is this an Arizona team off to a slow start, or an Arizona team that's going to take a major step backwards this year?
I don't think Arizona's going to win that division. I don't think they're physical enough. But the way the Niners played yesterday, that's the way they're going to play all season. And if Seattle can run the ball like they did yesterday, what is Arizona going to do? They can't run an offense. They rely too much on Warner, and he's going to get beat up. And then you're going to have Matt Leinart coming from the hot tub to the starting quarterback. I don't see it.
From the hot tub. Quickly on the way out here, Matt, I know you like the Chargers to go all the way this year. A lot of guys do when you consider the fact they get practically 6 automatic wins between Denver, Kansas City, and Oakland out there in the West. But who do you have representing the NFC in the big Super Bowl in Miami come February?
I'm taking Philly. I know McNabb went down yesterday, but the defense still attacks. They got enough playmakers. And I'm riding with the Eagles all the way to Miami.
If I send you a check, will you change it to the Giants?
We'll find out pretty soon. They're going to play twice this season. I mean, both those teams are going to be in the postseason. Just depends who plays better when it counts in January.
No, I agree with you. Actually, the Giants meet up with the Eagles for the first time in Week 9, but the Giants have a big test coming up on Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys. Matt, terrific job. We are really looking forward to working with you and the rest of the team at the NFPost.com throughout the whole season. Matt's going to join us each and every Monday right here. Matt, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Sid.
You got it, pal. For Matt Bowen, I am Sid Rosenberg. And as always, enjoy the football.